proposal development. Okay, so everybody is free to voice out their idea. You don't agree or you have some other idea, so please, I believe that this is already the third hour and you have settled down, relax a bit, eat a bit probably, so we can have more um, interactive discussion. Okay. So we have now 13. I believe that if you have any questions, okay, I'll be talking about the assessment next week. I don't want to talk about assessment during the first class, so I don't want to like, talk about serious things for during the first class. All right. We have now 14. Okay, I believe only Ahmed is not around yet. Ahmed. Okay. For your attendance, yeah, some of you might experience that the lecturer asking you to mark your attendance, but for me, I usually mark my own attendance by looking at your who's coming, so I can just mark your attendance. Yeah, it's not right, really. You know, because I know this is a class of adults. Okay, but it is more on ISO kind of thing that I have to mark your attendance. So this is this is me as academic. This is what you want to solve the problems in the world, but of course we are limited to grant money, especially when we are doing chemistry. We need to buy chemicals, we need to buy instruments, we need to buy lab facilities, disposables. So in the end, you are limited to those what we call as those holding the money, stakeholders. Okay, if what kind of research they want. Okay, so by right, research is about solving problem. So before we talk about problem, okay, because problem is there already, we don't have to create a new one. I mean, it is there, problem is there, we don't have to think about, okay, what is the problem? No, because it is there. Okay, you just have to refine it, make sure you understand the problem is before we talk about statement of problem. But I just want to know your view on when you do like literatures, writing proposals, what comes in your mind about software and apps that you know that help you as well, or might be detecting your similarities, but that is I don't want to talk about that. I mean, many of us knew about turning in that, checking our similarities, whether you cut and paste. But I want to know about your knowledge, if you know about softwares or apps that can help you during proposal development. Okay. Ahmed, do you know any software?
Actually not, teacher, because my knowledge in software and something like that is limited. So
Any
I
apps?
just start to research and learn more about them
Okay,
because
it's
I
fine.
need them a lot.
Okay. Anyone can wish to contribute ideas on software and apps that you know will able you to help on literature review, on writing.
Prof,
Yeah.
just sharing. Do you mean like something like ChatGPT, something like that?
Yes. Okay. Because not all know about ChatGPT. Let me write it. Chat. Yep. Okay. Anything else? I mean, there's a lot that you can use. Softwares, apps that helps you in writing. Anyone know about Killbot? I think I write it the correct way. Killbot. What is Killbot?
Paraphrase sentence.
Yeah, helps you with, especially if we're not, English is not my mother tongue. Yeah, Killbot can help you, but these are the things that I wish we can discuss further, and I will try to find people who are expert and help you with this new software and apps. I'm not at all expert. I'm not. Okay. And what are the softwares, please?
Grammarly.
Grammarly.
Grammarly. Okay.
I'm not using yet, Prof, but my colleagues share with me typeset.io. I don't know what is that, but they share to me.
For writing, is it?
Research, is it? Can help in research. I don't know what inside, but they said type
How-
set.io.
.io. Okay. We'll search. Okay, everybody can try to search. And okay, more ideas. Somebody said something before.
Connected
Finder?
papers.
Yes, two of you are talking. So Valerie first, probably.
Is it connected papers?
Collective. Is it a software?
Connected papers.
Oh, right.
It's a software.
Connected papers. Is it?
Yeah.
All right. We can Google that. Somebody. I think Atika is saying something, right?
Sign finder, it can help us to find papers.
Okay, so that is science finders. I don't.
SCI finder.
SCI. Okay, finders. All right, betul. Correct, right?
Yep.
Okay, so these are also these are like resources, yeah. But if you have softwares like recently, I don't know, I scroll Insta. It's a bad habit for me because it really keep me awake at night. Which is not good, but there are some software because you need to read, right? You need to read research papers in order to do scientific proposal. So there is a software where they can help you with the reading by listening, but I never use it. I haven't tested. It's listening to the research paper. Somebody actually read for you, and you can listen to it while cooking, while doing your chores. So probably this is new. Yeah, it's good to venture. So what are the things that you can use, softwares, apps? Because there's a lot of apps now. Okay, you also, in writing proposal, remember that you will be using a lot of reference. So how do you manage the references? Any software that you know?
Mendeley.
Yeah, manually.
Mendeley desktop. Yeah, Mendeley software.
RefWorks, okay? Yeah. Very important for you to have these skills because you need to list down the references in your proposal as well as in your dissertation letter. You need to use this, yeah? Because references are very difficult to manage. Okay, when you read a lot, then these are going to be something that you have to organize. So by using a software or you have an apps, a good apps, then this is very, very helpful. Okay, so
Excuse me, bro.
yeah.
But I think ChatGPT is illegal to use in our research.
Yeah. I understand.
So
Yeah, I understand the ChatGPT, but and that's why I'm planning to call someone who is also an academic lecturer who actually can talk about how ChatGPT can be used. It's not about ChatGPT. You take everything from ChatGPT, but sometimes you do have restriction. Okay, you do have restriction on writing some good constructed paragraph or sentences, but then this can help you. So, apps and software for me, personally, they are built to help us. But if you misuse it, you use it wrongly, and you use it totally, let's say you write your assignment and then you give everything exactly from ChatGPT, then of course it's not right. Of course, now we have Turnitin, okay, which check the similarity index of your assignments, of your proposals. Yeah, I mean, softwares, apps, technologies, there's always what we call as two sides of a mirror. There's always bad sides, there's always good sides. So I don't really agree. I don't know, for me personally, that totally ChatGPT is forbidden for students, because those are, yeah, for you to use, but not for the total assignment to be submitted based totally on ChatGPT. Okay, so I don't know, Ahmad, if you don't agree, it's fine. All right. Okay. So I will try my best to find someone who's good at this. Using not all, probably some of the softwares, some of the resources to find papers, to find journals. They are more experts compared to me, because during my time, everything is like manual right now. So I'm not really, good in this software and apps, but I will call someone, right, to help us in this matter. So, but at the same time, you can always explore different software as well as apps to help you to develop this writing part, especially, and also a reporting part. Yeah, because in reporting part, you also need to know like Excel, Origin, to plot all those graphs, to plot those bar charts, and to do statistical analysis, if you know spreadsheets. And those are very, very helpful. And sometimes we struggle. Yeah, we struggle to do those kind of graph figures because we are not used to it. But please, you need to get used to it. If you ask me, of course, because I'm now, most of the time, I'm a supervisor, I'm not a student. So I usually look at my students' presentation, and I'm so happy with their skills in doing all those graphs, very beautiful graph, very beautiful diagrams, which is very helpful because that makes people happy to look at it. So for those, I also observe some students who struggle even to plot graph by using Excel, a simple graph. So these skills are needed in development of proposal, presentation of progress, as well as final reports. Okay, so this thing you have to improve the skills throughout your study. Okay, it helps you even in your works, yeah, not just during your study. So please do that. Okay, so coming back to the problem just now. Okay. So I hope everybody not to say agree that research is done to solve problem. So the problem is already there and depends on where are you. If you are working in a research institution, then of course you are there with certain scope of problem that you need to solve. If you are working in industry, your industry has its own problem to solve. And if you are full-time students, then you might be thinking of your own problem that you wish to solve, or you wish to discuss with your supervisor to solve the problems or the projects, research projects that is currently under that particular supervisor. I mean, you can do that. Okay, you can do that. You can do the lab work in your workplace, or you can do the lab work at your research institution, and that can be reported as your master dissertation. So no worry, you don't have to be in UPM to do everything. But as the students, you are entitled to do some analysis in UPM if you need to, right? You are entitled, okay? Right, now, so I'm just showing to you problems, and it's a real problems that is happening in Malaysia, particularly in Malaysia, but I think contamination of water is not something new. It's not just Malaysia. It happens everywhere. This is industrial. The river contaminated by industrial waste. Okay. I remember, I think the final consensus is acrylamide compound, yeah, being somebody dumped into the river, and it is affecting the school children because it is near to schools. And in Malaysia, as we know, it becomes, the news become really at that time, and then suddenly it is silence. No one know what happened after that. What is the status of the Kim River? Well, it is coincident. It is Kim, kimia, chemistry in Malaysia. So I don't know whether they have done something because it is, it's always political issues as well. So don't know what in the end. So how do we approach this? Okay, so this is another problem. And then during the pandemic, because the class are online, so I think it is still your class is online, the internet connection. Remember, this is a girl, I think in Sabah, right?
Sabah, correct.
Where she has to climb a tree to answer exam questions because to get connection. Okay, so this is an issue. This is a problem to solve. Okay, we don't talk about just the lab problem, the lab-based problem. We are talking also a big problem that is supposed to be solved. Okay, by us. Okay, especially scientists, to make our living more comfortable, because it benefits us all if you can solve this issue. Yeah, and for those who live in Selangor, okay, this is also a big problem. Okay, when I talk to the environmental people, right? They talk about the water supply. Of course, the issue is because Selangor is very dense. The human population is very high. So the water treatment facilities is like going, they need to revamp. They need to put a lot of money in the water treatment facilities. So, so that's why this is a problem, a real problem in life, that we have to put a good proposal and make it real to solve this, because we are the one who receive, who get the issue, the problem, and we live with it. We want it to be solved, right? Okay, it's not just about money, it's not just about politics, but it's also about science. Yeah. And of course, this is what, we have lived, all right? And many have died. And this is the that from WHO, the Director General of the WHO. It's very difficult to pronounce his name, but this is his name. And let's say if we have future virus, okay, I think we talk about virus X in my class on Monday. Yeah, and then how are we prepared? Okay, based on our experience, we need to do massive testing, a lot of testing. So in order to isolate, in order to treat, in order to curb the spreading. Okay, so this is what the catchphrase of at the early pandemic, WHO is saying test. Okay, but how do we do that? Okay, we need to have a very competent one, means that reliable test, and also cheap, as well as very fast. Okay, so I love the terms called cheap and cheerful, means that it's a cheap test, but at the same time making people happy. One, the result is good, and it is user friendly, because the public does not want something complicated, right? They want something simple. So the rapid test kit is of course simple, but then in terms of sensitivity, it's not really reliable. I believe that you experience using the rapid test kit sometimes. It seems negative, but when you repeat it, it might be positive. So those are kind of things that we have to solve. We want something cheap, reliable, and user-friendly. So people can use it as many because it's cheap, but at the same time give you a reliable results. Okay. I don't want to talk about this. This is very research based. Okay. So we don't want this. We do something in the lab, or we come up with technology, but we don't know what's the application. My team has, like the cartoon here, my team has created a very innovative solution, but we're still looking for problem to go with it. That is not the right way, because you start with a problem. Okay, so that's why my concern is always take your time to refine the problem, to be clear about the problem. So that's why when we write dissertation in the end, the first part, the chapter 1, introduction, the problem statement is very crucial, because that defines the whole objective, your research design, which is methodology, and of course, when you obtain results, will be your result and discussion, because that will be based on your problem statement. Okay, so I usually take some time to talk about problem statement. And basically, this is what we're looking at for proposal. Title, executive summary. Probably you're not familiar with executive summary. It's okay. We will discuss this later. Literature review is very important. And then statement of problem, objective, experimental design. Okay, sometimes it's simpler if you know it as methodology. Gantt chart is just showing how you plan to do the timing. Okay, and then I put in something graphical abstract. This is maybe some of you are familiar, but some of you are not familiar. It's okay. And then it's good to put risk management. Risk management means that what are the risks? Is there any financial risk? Is there any time risk? Or in terms of technical risk? Okay, so this one, as I mentioned, something that you can use for your master dissertation, for your PhD, or for your industrial project. Okay. Right. I don't want to talk about title because title depends. If it is academic thesis, the title actually depends on the institution. Like university, like UPM, they give you around 22 words, 20 or 20, I don't remember. Okay, but of course we want the title to be representative. The most important word is representative of what you have done in the research project. You don't want it to be too general, and sometimes it's difficult to write too specific because it's going to be very long. Okay, so this one, you don't worry because title at the beginning is not very difficult. You can do, the most important is you understand the problem first, you write the proposal until even you can change the title even during your submission of master dissertation thesis. The dissertation is a thesis, okay? Your master dissertation report. You can still change, no worry, okay? So that's why I don't want to talk about title at the very beginning because title is not important at the very beginning, okay? But the important is the problem and what you wish to do. Okay, if you have any question, please stop me, yeah? Right. So that's why I don't want to
Prof,
talk.
sorry.
Yeah, tak apa, tak
Just
sorry.
now, just now
Ah.
you said risk management.
Mm.
The example is risk of finance, technical. The other one is time risk, is it?
Yes, technical. Technical means do you have the expertise to solve all the problems that you want? For example, in your problems requires AI, artificial intelligence, let's say. Do you have the team? Okay. But if you think you don't have, then you have to modify your proposal. Okay, of course, time and financial, yeah, is common, right? But the technical, you need to find somebody to know about AI, for example. Okay.
So you mean in our proposal, it's good for us to put the risk management inside our proposal lah. Okay, all right.
Yes, you
Thank
put the
you.
risk management in terms of not to say quantify, but you like predict. Predict there is 50-50% you have time constraint. Okay. Or there is low risk in time because you're gonna be there. After 1 year, you're gonna achieve. Or there is a 50-50% some financial issue. So those things you must consider. I will talk about it, give examples, not talk about, I mean, what happened if you don't think about financial issue. Okay. Okay, when we talk about introduction, okay. All right, let's look at what executive summary, okay. Because I want to jump here first, not introduction, okay. All right, because once you have identified, refined, understand the problem, then you go back to introduction. Okay, so you don't do introduction first unless you are sure the problem that you want to solve. Okay. So there are a few things, a few approach that you can do to define the problem. Okay, let's say we are talking about the water supply in Selangor. I'm just giving an example. So what are the approach? Not saying to solve the issues. I'm not saying to solve the issue. I'm saying to know the actual problem. So what are the strategies that you can do? Okay, this is open to everybody. Suggestion. I'm talking about to know the actual problem, not to solve. Okay, what you can do? Amira, Nafisa. I'm just picking up names. Okay, you want to know the actual problem. What can you do?
I think for the problem, I think I will meet the person in charge of the water.
Yes,
Uh,
yeah. Continue.
yeah.
Amber.
And then after you get the information or evidence from them, and then you learn, and then go to the people who have suffer for the insufficient water too. And then you can solve the problem and not the solve lah.
Yeah.
That's my idea.
Yes, yes. I agree with you. Okay. All this while, I don't know. Because most of us in academic, we rely heavily on literature, right? we read literature, but we do, and then the problem is in academic. Okay, we develop some good technology, and then in the end, we try to apply the technology to the real world. But at the beginning, we forgot to ask the person in charge their real problem is, and when we try to fit in the technology in later, once we think that it works, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. Okay, so it's good strategy if you're working on actual problem. Yeah, I'm not talking about exploratory or fundamental in preparation of nanomaterial, because that's the beginning. I mean, if you really want to do application research, it's a very good idea for you to make an interview, yeah, with the person in charge. I don't know, when I say person in charge, maybe the boss, maybe the operator. Okay, so we would like to know where's the actual problem? Is it on the facilities? Is it on the water treatment? Or is it on the management? Probably it's on the management, on the, monitoring of the industry is dumping away their chemicals. Maybe that is the bottleneck. Yeah. So we need to know that. And then what are the ways to get to know about the problems? Atika?
Collect data or also collect the water from the river and conduct testing. But I think collect data first good.
All right. Collecting data, usually we do it during methodology, or when we collect data when we start to do the project itself. But somehow, I also agree with you, because you need to know some information on the water, right? So when you need to know some information of the water, you do some basic analysis of the water. Okay, is it how bad is the a contamination? So it's not a full scale research, but you just want to know. You run the analysis, and then you get the idea of how bad the water is contaminated. So it's good. Yeah, at least you have some what do you call basic data. But the full scale research is done only after we propose, only after we understand the problem. But if you wish to understand the problem by doing some basic analysis, is good also, right? Okay, acquiring data from reports. Okay, if it is like a Department of Environmental or Department of Irrigation, somebody from Shabas, I don't know, Air Selangor, there's no Shabas. But SPAN, in Malaysia, it is called SPAN, is a body that controlling the water. Okay. I'm not really well versed. There's also, I forgot about it. So those are people that you need to meet, one, or probably you can search for their reports. Okay. What is the standards now? What is the progress now? So those are the very important steps that you need to do before you can say there is a problem. Because sometimes you think it is a problem, but in actual, it is not a problem. You think that there is a problem, but it is not. It is not there. You just imagine that there is a problem there. Okay, so very important approach to study, of course, literatures, to obtain data from reports, as well as if you have the capability is to interview people. Okay, because in the end, if you are doing applied research, the technology that you develop must fit to the one who's going to use it. I learned it through hard experience when I tried. That is for academics, it's always like looking at the literatures, and once you have the technology ready and you try to like get the people to use it, no, it doesn't fit their system, and the cost is way up high. They don't want to change. They want the original old material to treat water. So that's what happens if you don't study, if you don't really get engaged with the one in charge. Okay. All right. So if you have any more ideas in getting to know the problem, is very important. Get to know the problem first. It is not necessarily for you to know everything, but it's something, the process goes on. You're not doing the solution at this moment. You need to know the problem first. Okay. Now, next one, writing it down. Okay, you know the problem already. You have it. You have the idea. But in writing it down in your thesis or your master dissertation requires you to like have some ideas first. I mean, in statement of problem, okay, it's like you are telling a story to someone. Okay, so you are telling someone that you want to solve the issue of something something to make us happy, you can solve to reduce weight by not exercising. You want to solve that problems. And then probably you talk to doctors, medical doctors, you talk to nutritionists, you talk to psychologists. You understand the metabolism, you understand the microbiomes. I mean, yeah, that affects the how to reduce weight. And then you understand all aspects of this, how to reduce weight without exercising. Okay, the key was that without exercising. And then now you want to approach, okay, that problem based on microbiomes. Microbiome is the microbes that exist in us. Like in my stomach, there are a unique sets of microbes, okay, that works, that is working for me, and probably that set up the metabolisms that works, whatever, because I'm not a molecular person, but I understand microbiomes. Okay, the microbes in our body is very important, and the balance of the microbiomes in our body does affect the weight increment or the weight reduction. So once you know, you probably know a lot. You also knew about metabolism, okay? And you understand that if you have a good metabolism, enough metabolism, then you can reduce also your weight and you have a happy life, balance. So you can also think about, okay, which aspect do you want to approach? You want to approach on the metabolism or you want to approach on microbiome side? Because you cannot do everything at one time. So let's say you decide to approach on the microbiome aspect. Okay, let's see. So now you need to search. Okay, this is very important. You in statement of problem, you make this statement. So like I'm talking to Zawa. Zawa, well, in written form, okay, the issue of overweight, the issue of obesity. So you give some statistic in Malaysia, where we know when we see Malaysians, probably now I think 6 out of 10 is big. You can just walk on the street and you see that. Like you count 10 people, and then I mean I'm also overweight. So, so I mean we wish to solve the issues. Okay. So that will be a good introduction because you want to tell generally this is the issue now, especially for the school children. They start to get very big, even at the primary school, even at the kindergarten age. We are worried about it. Okay, so you tell the story. You tell the story because you want to grab the attention of the audience who are reading the thesis later. Now, that part is done, the introduction. The second part is you also need to talk about what are the solutions that people have created before. Okay, this is not supposed to be detailed because the detail will be in your literature review. But in statement of problem statement, you need to also write a bit on what people have done. Okay, people have done like, I don't know, you can mention drugs, you can mention what are other technologies. Depends on it is related to your solution. If you're talking about microbiome, then you need to talk about what have they found out about microbiomes that enable to reduce the weight probably, or probably eating habits or whatsoever. So you need to put it there in the statement of problem or problem statement. All right. And then I hope that you see introduction and then a bit of what people have done. I mean, the previous that has been done by the researchers or is on the market already. Talk about it a little. And now you are moving to your solution. You wish to do microbiome. Okay, in this research, you would like to focus on microbiome. But probably if somebody has done a microbiome, you need to tell about how special your microbiome will be. You have come across a new microbes, not see, a series of microbes that is that works wonders. For example, I don't know. So now you highlight on your solution. So that is the structure of problem statement, introduction, because you're telling someone this is the issue. And then these are all things that has been done. They are good, but there are still room for improvement. And now you give your solution, which probably much better than the previous one, or filling up the rooms, the weaknesses of the previous technology. You think that if you combine microbes A, B, and C, then, you know, it works wonders based on certain scientific proof. That is very important. When we do science, you need to support your idea. You need to support with scientific theory, or you need to support with the literature. Okay, so there is a big difference between academic proposal as well as industrial scientific-based proposal. You need to have a solid science supporting your idea, not just say, I believe this micro A, B, and C will help without any evidence. That is not acceptable. I mean, you have done the introduction, you have done a bit of literature, but in your solution part, you just say, I believe, maybe. The word maybe, I believe, is not, it's not acceptable in science. You have to support your idea. Okay, you believe, it's fine that you believe based on this scientific findings by A, by B, Okay. Okay, you know SK2, right? Ladies, you know SK2? SK2 product?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Farah. Anyone using SK2?
Used to, Prof. It's expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, I bought once. You know what? When I got my professorship, I sort of give um trying to give yeah, you reward yourself. Okay, so I got one bottle. It's 500 that time. So when I read about SK2, I also read that SK2 is actually the water from they use the how they got the microbes is from rice water. Okay, when they wash the rice and they is Japanese, they love to like the word incubate. Incubate is inside. You put the rice in water and the rice water is kept. So those workers who are working with that rice water, their hands are supple, very smooth. Actually, I did comparison when I prepare my own rice water. I don't know whether that term is correct. And I use SK2. Okay, because the microbes in the SK2 are the ones that make your skin supple, clearer, and of course, it is very expensive. And why is it expensive? Because I use the same rice water that I prepare by myself, but it gives the same supple, the kind of feeling. But what's the difference? Because when you prepare the rice water by yourself, all the microbes are there. I mean, it's a mixture of microbes. So what happened to me is after sometimes I got pimples because using the homemade rice waters, probably because the microbes are a mixture of microbes. So I don't know which of the microbes that are affecting the giving the good positive results and which one giving me pimples. I don't know. But SK2, their technology is they're able to isolate the perfect microbe and abandon all other microbes. Okay, so that even you use it, you don't get pimples, but you get the results that you want. So that is the one that costs you a lot. If you can isolate the microbes, you can study the microbes in SK2, and then you can isolate it by yourself. Please do. You can do that. Okay. All right. So you imagine that. So those are the things, small things that you need to think about when you want to support your idea. Okay. So you can see that I'm spending like half an hour in problem itself because this is the most important part. If you do your research blindly without thinking about the problem, in the end, yeah, you achieve something, but you don't know what you achieve. Of course, you graduate, but you don't know what you have achieved. And yeah, it's not really your concern because you graduated. But when we do research, we are using money. We use facilities. We use human resources. There's a lot of money involved. So in the end, if it is not contributing to something, problems solving, is such a waste of time and money. So I hope, okay, because I'm not going to expand anymore, enough that we stop in statement of problem statement writing first. I hope that by now you know one is to search for the information and to define, to really know it is there, the problem is there. And then you need to write it. So writing the problem statement, you start by introduction. Okay, it's like telling someone about the problem. Yeah, you write a story. You write a good story, introduction, and then you tell about people about what has been done. has been done by somebody, but there is a room for improvement, and I'm giving my solution to this microbiomes issue. I have an idea, and this idea is supported by scientists A, B, and C, and I also read in textbook A, B, and C. This is the science behind it, and I believe based on these science facts, is going to work. Those are the statement of problems. If you make it in oral form or in verbal form, this is the problem statement. I hope that you get it. Okay, right. So I think that's it. Okay. So this is a take-home messages. Think about problem at your workplace that you wish to solve wherever you are. If you're not working, then you can think about problems that at home as well as simple problem. Okay. Probably next week, during a second, which is at the same time 8 to 9, you can talk about it. Okay. This is just a practice, and then you can think when you look at the problem is, of course, you know what is the problem, why it happens, and how to solve it. And also I mentioned about what has been done about the issue. This is just to practice on verbal problem statement. Okay, any questions before we end? We haven't talked about anything in proposal development, only problem today. Any questions?
Prof,
Yeah.
this problem is any problem is not related to analytical chemistry or related or any problem in workplace we can just throw it.
Yeah. I mean,